Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd jump on here and trying to catch up with everybody. So hopefully, I'm trying to get the other me on my phone so can at least one person be watching. Um, there I am. Okay. Have the other me say hi. Maybe. I don't know. Um, so let's see if anybody jumps on here. This is just a spur of the moment pop up. Um, so I thought I'd come on here and try to catch up, and I'm kind of excited uh, for y'all to hear my song later. It will be my very first premiere. And thanks to Gail for letting me know about this that app. So I wrote several songs. Um, one song I wrote last night is kind of quirky. Wrote an intro song, which I need to put it on the app so I can finish it, and I did. And an intro song for this channel that's different than like the second video you see or whatever. Um, so but So where was I at last week? Last week I was at hubby had to have vacation time. Either that or he would have lost it, the hours. So well they would have paid him out, but he'd rather be away from his job. Anybody that ever works has a job, you understand that to a point. Um I do feel that YouTube is my job. And I am going to be starting a new series. Empty Nest Adventures. Probably more of it next year. Um, More of it because winter's coming and wood is our only heat source, so somebody has to be here to feed the stove. So that is what is going on, and of course, the month of November is Pie November. So, and that is the featured recipe on Wednesdays on the other me, Luann's Kitchen, which I'm in here as well, which is crazy. I'm two different people. Like I said, thank you, Gail, for let me have. I'm not crazy about AI, but I kind of this new app is addictive on making songs and writing songs. The one that you're going to see later on this evening, hubby loves it tremendously. The Suno app, I would recommend it. You have a song idea, all you have to do is put that idea in. AI writes the song, which I've done it once. So far, I've not made any intro songs. I mean, not intro songs, just instrumental songs on there as of yet, but I am still playing with it. And I apologize for the movement around, because laptop is on my lap. Like I said, we will probably be, uh, having the first fire in our wood stove this week. It is supposed to be down in the upper 30s, so maybe possibly frost, maybe. At least down there by the creek. So going through mom's stuff too. So and I found a quilt that I remember that when mom was alive and everything was good, we would go on these adventures, quilting adventures. We did 2 years in a row. Well, no, 1 year, a quilt shop pop where we went to different shops and of course she bought fabric at every one. Um, and she got patterns at every one and took photos of every um shop. I do believe I do have those photos. I may be doing a little bit of that, do a video on that. I'm not 100%. And she never met, never seen a quilt block she didn't like. Anyway, the quilt that I will be giving to my daughter, my youngest, um, I remember going to the Saturday sampler. So remember that. And she didn't make one quilt of that pattern. She made two. One is like a scrappy, and the other one is of the fabric of the Saturday sampler that we would go to. We went to several of them where the first block, this first Saturday, you would go and you would pay for your block, and it'd have the pattern and the block. Then you would also, the owner of the quilt shop would do their little thing and show the fabric that's new, show a lot of things that is new. What she does have a live, the quilt shop, it's called So Simple. She did have one in Rogersville, Missouri. Um, but that one is since closed. She is in Ozark behind Lambert's. Kind of give a plug there for So Simple Quilt Shop, Amber. Um, and so we would go up there and we would do the Saturday samplers. She would meet me up there, or we'd go together at the one in Ozark. And then when she opened the store in Ozark, we started going up there. We would meet over here at a certain place, and we'd go up there together, and we'd get our block, and then we'd go home and finish it. And then the next month, all you had to do is show that you had the finished block of the Saturday sampler, and you would get your block free. So if anybody else is in this area and loves to quilt and loves fabric like mom did, So Simple is a great place to shop, great place to go. Besides, it's behind Lambert's. A lot of beautiful fabric. And she is on Facebook and So Simple Quilt Shop. And she does a live about every Friday on that. So, good morning, Loose Screw Ranch. Are you like me? Kim, got a lot of loose screws up in my brain. Or lost marbles. I lost a few. But glad to have you in here. So, but I'm going through her stuff, and slowly the stuff that's in the house anyway. I know after I get through the tote that has papers in it, um, I will probably start going through some of the totes that are in our garage that has papers in it too. And I, um, I just love that name. Uh, so like I said, my garage is plumb full of stuff. And by the way, Kim, that is my other channel, mainly recipes. I am a cookbook collector. My name is Lou Ann, so just so you know. Um, But that is the other me. I do videos of recipes. I feature a cookbook every month, and I just work out of recipes from there. And I am currently on the other me. I am currently going through a bread machine cookbook, and I'm trying every recipe, at least the ones I could find ingredients for. So with that being said, not much going on here. It's been kind of dreary looking outside for the last 2 or 3 days. No sunshine, rainy, yucky. Did manage to go to Forsyth, Missouri, which I did show. There is a video on this channel for for at the little bit of the two parks that are in the area. Yes, and I will try to on the other me, Luann's Kitchen, I am going to try to be doing lives on there for on Thursdays around the same time. Um since hubby took vacation and I've had doctor's appointments, had two teeth pulled, um kind of been a little bit of that going on as well. So just craziness going on in the background. So that is why I haven't have been live on this channel or the other me. Besides doing videoing and getting those videos edited and all that, because there is a process to that. Um, that's crazy at everything that is going on. I will be Pie November is coming up next month. That is a collab, that open collab that I do on both channels. Now that there is a kitchen channel, there's more. There should be 4 recipes on that channel, plus 4 pie recipes. There will be 4 pie recipes on this channel. At least that's the plan as of right now. Um, so which is crazy. Um, a lot of pies. I'm kind of running a little bit late. I usually try to get ahead, at least on desserts, dessert wise, when I'm making desserts. But other than that, so had to message my friend. Yes, I agree. There is a learning curve for me too. Because I use the app that is on my computer. And then what, it was a year or so ago, it changed, it's upgraded, and it wants me to go to a different app. I'm not comfortable using that app and I have to find another app for the laptop to do the editing. I don't do editing on my phone except for when I do the shorts. There is, like I said, I do have a premiere, my very first premiere on this channel. Um, I may be doing a premiere, another premiere in the near future. Hello, Miss Gail. Um, how are we doing today? How's the weather like there? Because here it is overcast and it's supposed to be rainy, and we're probably going to have our first fire in the wood stove within the next couple of days, because it's supposed to be down in the 30s. Burr. Um, so, and Kim, I'm going to let you know a little bit about this channel. I do gardening. I'm not no expert. Totally not no expert, and I understand that, Kim. I do not see very well at times too. Ooh, Gail, it is warm there. um, so this channel, I do gardening, canning, well, preserving the harvest as much as I can. Oh, I got my double layer, double layer, double layer today. But it is supposed to be one day this week. It's supposed to be in the 30s. Halloween is supposed to be cold as well and rainy, at least what I've seen. But Kim, if you're not doing anything on Halloween night, Gail does have a live ending up her Fall Fest 25 giveaway, and there are door prizes. So if you don't mind, Gail, you could put your that link for Friday's live if you can. Oh, okay. Well, I'm working on cleaning around our wood stove. It's kind of, I got stuff, the mom in the house, outside in the garage, outside underneath the picnic table, uh, everywhere. Basically, I got a tote that I'm about done finished with, going through every paper, and shredding it. And of course, I've got to the point where I'm burning the paper because there is so much. Mom saved everything, and I do mean everything. Um, it's crazy how much she saved. Anyway, thank you, Gail. Um, there is a link for Fall Fest. If you ain't doing anything, Kim, join in and maybe you'll win one of the door prizes. Um, so, like I said, this channel does canning. I do gardening. Of course, I did at one time have a greenhouse, and the greenhouse kind of weather got it. Planning on getting another greenhouse eventually. Not right now. It's not in the cards to do financially. It's I know it's either will be a hoop house or a regular greenhouse. I haven't fully decided. They're about the same price in price. So, but that is so, and I also have chickens and ducks. I have the Muskogee ducks, the quiet ducks, which in some parts of the country are, you cannot have Muskogee ducks because it's illegal to own them, because there's wild Muskogee ducks like in Florida and down in there. I've never seen them, but I know there is. Daughter has sent me pictures, the youngest, which she loves to travel. I do have goats as well, and I may have bitten off more than I could chew for next spring, because I was counting this morning when I was feeding them all, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I got 5. No, Muskogees are not mean. At least mine aren't. They're kind of spoiled rotten. Hubby accidentally ran over one of them, but it was time to, next spring I will be on the lookout for another drake. Um, Preferably one that's not related to mine. Hopefully nothing won't get the big white drake that I have, a snowbeard. So I lost bluebeard. My Muskogees are all named. They are spoiled rotten. They will eat at one time, they would eat on my hand, which I'm going to have to work on getting that back again. They're all named. There is Duck Norris, youngest named that one. She is a black pied. Pied means she's black and white. I do have a solid white drake with blue eyes, his snowbeard. Um, there are two other, one lilac pied. It's kind of a lilac is between a blue and a chocolate, sort of, kind of. Um, and her name is Beth. And then I have another one that's lighter in color, and her name is Lily. So Lily Beth and Duck Norris and Snowbeard. So but I do have chickens. My chickens are a variety. It's not just one certain kind. I do have Bantam Cochin's that I try to keep them pinned up right now. Do have a start of Frizzles. Again, the rooster is mean and he will be disappearing somewhere. I don't know where, but he's going somewhere because anytime I put my hand in there, he attacks, and I'm not having that. Um, so my goats are the Nigerians, except for there is what? Polly, Dobie. Yeah, Polly and Dobie have a little bit of faint in them. Uh, Polly is her mama did faint. So that's mainly the kind of goats I have. And I do milk them. So next year I kind of went overboard, and hopefully I probably won't be milking all six of them. I say, excuse me, I say six because one of them may or may not be bred. I'm not 100%. She wasn't supposed to be in with her bred. I didn't want to bred this year because she's not a year old. I tend to pin breed. That I mean by that, I don't have my boys running with the does all the time because Nigerians will um, they will breed all year round. If I did let the boys run in with the girls, um, that's just a decision I made. I want to know when exactly, kind of estimate when the girls are having their babies. So, which I kind of jumped the gun. I should have waited another half a month before I put the boy in Rip. That is my main buck. Um, in with the girls, but I didn't do that. I do have two bucks. After my girl goats are named Polly, which she is a um she has paint in her and pretty much a pygmy Nigerian in there. Not 100% because her mama popcorn and watermelon. I did not name them. My original two were a gift. My oldest daughter was moving out of the state and they was moving to town and they couldn't have the goats, so therefore I always wanted goats, and that's how we got the goats. Um, that's how Polly came to be, and then Dobie was Polly's daughter. Um, Then I have Daisy, that is the next oldest of my goats, and she is supposedly a dwarf, um, a Nigerian, and she is my best milker ever. I mean, she gives a lot of milk, about a half a gallon. If I would milk her twice a day, at least the times I milked her last. This year I didn't milk her. There was too much going on, so I couldn't milk her. Um, and then there is Dolly and Daphne, which is Daisy's two girls. Her firstborn were both girls. Yay! It was a kind of a girl year for the most part when they was first born. And then I have Fancy, which is another one of Dolly's kids that I kept back. So, and that is all my goats other than Little Bit and Jack and Jill. Jack is a weather. That means he's cut. He can't do anything. Then we have Marvin as well. And Jack and Jill is Dolly's kids. And Jill may be possibly pregnant. Didn't want to breed her this year, but things happen. Same way with Dobie. That little bit is Dobie's kid. Um, Let me see. Yeah, Gail, can you drop my other link for Luann's kitchen? But that is all my goats. I do love my goats. They're a pain in the neck. Trust me, they are. And I've since learned that Nigerians, the dwarf goats, are hard to keep in, which they are. So come spring, February through April, I will have a lot of bouncy, jumping babies. So this year I had 2 sets of triplets. Polly had triplets and Daphne had triplets. So pretty much, and it was a girl year for me. There were more girls than boys. So hopefully that'll be that case next year. Because the girls are a whole lot easier to get rid of than the boys. That's why Jack is still here. Well, that's kind of why Jill is still here too, because things were starting to happen with my mama, and I could not. Um, that is Marvin. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. That is Marvin. After he breeds Daisy, that is another my best milker out there. He will probably one way or the other going bye bye. I am not going to have a buck that has horns that will butt me. Rip has horns, and yes, he was named after the Yellowstone character. Rip the cowboy, he does on his side have a thank you, Gail. He does have on his side a like a C. So, but I do like him. So he was a bottle baby. So I'm thinking next year. My plan is to try to find me another buck, but one that's polled that don't have horns. And more into it will still be a dwarf. I love, 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 love to have a registered one, just one that has a full um background of dairy. Just to get produce goats that have more dairy to them, like Daisy is. Daphne and Dolly, I've milked them twice. There for a little bit, I was milking Daphne and Dolly, and they didn't produce a whole lot of milk, not like their mama. So if I get me another buck that is more dairy, towards a more dairy dwarf that's registered, that's the plan. That is polled, no horns. I may get rid of Daphne and Dolly. I'm not 100% on that, but they would be getting rid of locally. I do love Dolly. She's a sweetheart. Daphne's a sweetheart. Um, they were both raised by mama. Um, Dobie was raised by mama, which she was a sweetheart too. But Rip was a bottle baby, and I think that's why he's very nice compared to the other buck. The other buck was raised by his mama, um, and he was a good price. I traded goats for him, so that's the only reason I was in the market for another buck, and he wasn't related to mine because I wanted to breed fancy and Dobie this year by a buck that wasn't related. Um, but at least that's the plan with the goats. The garden, I'm still in the process of doing. I have ideas. I want to grow like a set variety of a bed of set like slicers or cherry tomatoes, and then different varieties and try a taste test on them, do better by growing them. That will be my main focus next year. Of course, I'm going to grow beans and we'll be buying peppers. Um, and I will be doing again Indiana Backyard Gardeners seed swap. Will be doing that again. So love doing that. That was just like Christmas. A little later in Christmas. So Pie November for this month for both of my Luann's Kitchen and Blackberryrock, which I'm going to plan on making some pie today. I'm making a pie today and making a dessert for the other me, my mama's recipe collection, which is a series I started because my mama was a recipe fanatic. She has lots and lots of recipes. Still going through some of them. Some of the recipes belong to my grandma as well. But and I may from time to time share those on here, but they will be on Mondays. Because that was this year, her birthday was on a Monday, so that is why they're on a Monday. Next year, I don't think I'm going to switch it. I'm going to just keep it on Mondays. Um, as of right now, anyway, I'm going to keep that on Mondays, even though her birthdays will be on Tuesday next year. But I miss my mama. Yes, yes, I got going through her stuff. I got all her pictures. I got most of my grandma's pictures. I got a funeral book from my great grandma, who I do not remember at all. Um, and it is so precious to me. And some of the papers that I've been going through, I got papers of when my daddy was sick, papers of one of mom's great cards. So that is so precious to me. Maybe not be to anybody else, but they mean a lot to me. And her quilt books, her quilt fabric, her not all her fabric because I ran out of room. Um, we live in a 3-bedroom house with a garage that has its own issues. It's full of mom stuff, full of my girls stuff, full of other stuff because I like dishes. um, Glassware, which I've gotten rid of some glassware, not all of it, but I have love the blue willow. Um, but I am shredding a lot of papers, and she saved everything. She would listen to Trading Post, which was a phone. It was for a local radio station where you would call and, hey, I got this and this and this for sale, or I got this to give away. And she would write numbers on a piece of paper and she would save that paper. Yep. And every doctor bill, every paycheck. And I saved a paycheck from my daddy. He worked at Kansas City Coast Storage. I'm not a Missouri girl. I am a Kansas girl implanted in Missouri. But you couldn't get me to live in Kansas again ever. I grew up in town um, until mom and dad moved to a suburb of Kansas City. And that's where I found my love. Hello, Norma. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just shooting off and saying what's going on. Hello, Teresa. How are you doing? Um, it's just been crazy. Hubby was off last week for vacation, and then the week before, well, that week, last week, and then I had teeth pulled. Um, and it's just been crazy. It was his vacation was either take the vacation or they would pay him out the hours and then he would lose those hours. And anybody that's ever worked at a job, you appreciate time away from your job. um and he has stopped those little cancer sticks, and he's having little bit of issues with that right now. He's wanting one really, really bad, so continue to pray for him. And Kim, towards the end of this live, I will read out of the King James Version of the Bible, and then I started reading out of the study Bible as well. It's a New King James Study Bible, just a FYI, because without God, I'm nothing. Without Jesus, I'm nothing. Nothing. Um, excuse me. But I so enjoy all the blessings He has for us. So, but like I said, yeah, I do love Jesus. I love the Lord. My mama did too. If you Kim, if you could go back on my playlist, which is somewhere in the playlist that was taken this year, there is a live of me and my mama's last week on Earth, which was very, very special. And the song that I wrote, thanks with AI, I'm not crazy about AI, but the song that I wrote that will be premiering tonight is for Mom. Um, and I wrote about her, and I did write another song today. Um, this morning, I've not got it on the app yet. Like I said, I'm not crazy about AI, but I do like how it did the song that I wrote, and it's kind of addictive. Gail, thank you for turning me on to this latest app, and I've been enjoying it. And it is a free app. Suno is the name of it. Um, because I'm like the old ways, not the new ways. Um, I don't feel like I'm an expert gardener. I do try. Um, so there is a fly buzzing around if you're wondering what I'm doing. But this channel is, I have some ideas how my garden's going to grow next year. I want to plant, oh shoot, I just remembered something. I forgot to go dig up some gooseberries somebody gave me yesterday. Shoot, I just remembered. A lot of stuff going on. Um, yes, it is definitely an addiction, Gail. I haven't made no instrumentals yet, so it is. Definitely. I wrote 3 songs this morning. I wrote a song last night. The song last night will appear probably next month sometime. And the other songs I've written, they will probably be maybe one next week. I'm not 100%. I've not released it yet. I've published it, but not, at least on the app, I've not released it yet. And then there's a song that I just put the idea in there, and it wrote the song, and I love. It's called Suno. Suno. It's very addictive, and you can write songs, and you could just put an idea for a song and or a title for a song, and the AI will generate the song, and it will give you could decide what type of music, what type of genre you wanted. You can decide if it's female singer or male singer. And it will give, there's a free version and there's a paid version. I got the free version, and I do believe Gail has a free version as well. But it is very addictive, and it's letting my creative juices flow. I know there is a poem that I wrote long ago. I want to set it to music too. Um, and maybe there's probably other songs in here and in here and from above, because I feel the words to the song that will be premiering later this evening um, came from God, because it was spot on. Let my hubby listen to it. I let my hubby. Oh, that is so awesome, Gail. That is so awesome. I have been enjoying it so much, Gail. I've been thinking about buying the paid version as well. At least, for about a month, maybe. But I so enjoy that app. Oh, I'm always got music playing at a certain time during the day. I play it Pandora on my phone, or I put it music on the TV and let it play on YouTube. Some praise and worship music, because that's what I usually listen to, even on the Pandora as well. That's not that bad. And I agree, Norma, that is a sweet hubby. $10 a month isn't that bad. Um, but hubby is so blown away. I played a song yesterday on the app that I had AI write the song. It was just the title or the theme of the song, and it was spot on. I'm planning on doing a yeah, that's true. Oh, I like Canva, but I don't like Canva. If that makes any sense, all the photos, usually most of the photos that I place on my two channels are taken by me. Uh, I'm gonna have a different theme for next year. I mean next month. Because pumpkin is the theme for October. Besides chili as well. So, which I'm thinking next year going ahead and doing another month of Chili Fest, because there's so many different chilies. There's there's a pumpkin chili I so wanted to make. And my plan is to grow pumpkins in my garden next year. Besides spaghetti squash, I definitely want to grow that. Um, and beans. I want to can some beans next year, some po beans and some bush beans. At least that's the plan. As of right now, hopefully I get all my beds done. At least the area that I'm redoing and where the greenhouse was. I want to take the greenhouse up and put fruit trees, 2 fruit trees, and good deal. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. I do believe I am going to do a continued chili fest next year. Because it's just something fun. You could do all using different peppers, using chili, using like I said, pumpkin chili I didn't get, which I came across that on Pinterest, and there may be or may not be on the other me like a Pinterest month. Um, so that I share Pinterest recipes or Facebook recipes, because I have a ton that are on my phone that I need to write down. Um, so I'm thinking you will still see recipes on this channel every Friday. They may be a canning video, they may be a prepping type, pantry type video, because my goal is to do I do have like a Missouri mix type of updated version of it, and to try to make those recipes in that book. Hopefully I can do it. And then plus me and the other me and Linda's quilting room, I mean crafting room, which is a new channel. Um I she we will be doing a series and going through a book that I own and Linda also owns. There's recipes, there's crafting, just to focus on Christmas next year. So that may be what I do. I mean, that will be a series between the three channels. Um, Linda's crafting room. Um, and oh, I did too, Teresa. I did too. I got a late start. It's a lot of stuff, has life stuff has been going on in the background. Um, a lot of life stuff, and sibling rivalry. A little bit of that is going on with my two brothers. And learned a lot of stuff about when a parent passes, and I hopefully, when something happens to both me and my husband, both my girls won't fight over anything, because there is nothing, it's not worth it to fight over everything. Um I know I want my cookbooks to be divided between the two girls, because me and hubby only have girls, two redheaded girls, two crazy redheaded girls. Uh, I mean, Cody, our son in heaven, he has his own reward. And I'm thinking about, I'm going to let you all know of the, uh, okay, next month is, well, starting the first, is Pie November, which reminds me, I need to make a video on that. Pie November will be on this channel, and the recipes will be on Fridays. So there will be a pie recipe every Friday, and throughout the month. Yes, Kim, there is a soap. I don't remember the name of the open collab. Gail, can you post on about that collab? I know there's a soap collab going on that another channel does. Kim. So, and there are several other collabs going on. But like I was saying, Pie November, and it will be for the month of November for Luann's Kitchen. And awesome. Are you going to be doing any type of Native American heritage stuff for the month of November, Teresa? Because the month of November is Pie November, and It will be on most channels. And I'm thinking December will be Cookie December because everybody makes cookies. Um, uh, awesome, awesome. Are you going to be? Is it a? Thank you, Gail. Thank you. There is the Soaptober. Um, so there are a lot of different soap recipes made on that. Um, if it's an open collab, Teresa, I may try to do a video for that. Because I know there is supposedly Native American on both sides of my family. My grandma on mom's side always said that there was a Native American princess, but I cannot find who it was because they was ashamed of it. Um, Grandma always said, I remember Grandma saying that there was a Native American princess, and that if they were to go get blood drawn, that it would show that there was Indian in, and there was enough percentage that they would get money. But I've not done any. I've done family research on it, but I cannot find which one it was. I have a feeling I know which one, but I'm not 100%. I may or may not do the ancestry DNA just to see where, if it falls. Um, and I know from on dad's side there was Indian, but not much was said about it. Um, on mom's side, it was supposed to have been Cherokee. That's what I was told, but I'm not 100% on that. Like I said, I don't know. I don't have evidence and facts and all that. Well, see, Teresa, that's where I'm at. I don't want to do the DNA testing, but it would be nice to know. I know on mom's side there's German. My great great grandpa came from Germany. But that's all I know. On dad's side there is, I don't know. Supposedly there is Irish. I'm not 100%, but that it's just an idea right now, but I don't want to be I don't want to do the DNA testing, but I do. Um it's kind of a toss up. Mom always wanted, before she passed, she wanted to do the DNA testing at ancestry.com, but we never did it. So, because she liked going to the reunions. My grandma loved going to the reunions, and she would make a pinto bean cake. Yep, pinto bean cake. You heard right. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Teresa. I may try to do, I don't know, some Native American history stuff because I do love history, loved history in school. It just fascinates me. Um, type of thing. I do. Um, or a native, well, I don't know. I think I still have that book. It was a Cub Scout book and it had some type of bead work. Maybe, or I may do a short. I do have a dream catcher that my brother made. So one of my brothers made. He's very good at it. I got some totes at least one tote that has a lot of beads in it because he did beading at one time, and dream catchers and stuff like that. So, okay. All right. All right, Teresa. Thank you for that information. I kind of figured she just answered the question up above, Kim. I kind of figured it was hard to pinpoint the Native American history because a lot of times I know my grandma was said that the family was embarrassed by it. But to me, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of my parents. Both my parents. One mom had a 11th grade education and dad only had like the 8th grade in education, but both my parents were really real. Mom was smart on quilting stuff. I mean, she would be able to look at a block and not have the pattern for that block, and she would figure out how it went together. Um, but dad was smart. He was math smart and building smart and car smart before all this new technology on our vehicles. Dad was able to work on that. He taught himself how to be a forklift mechanic long ago. So without no training, yeah, yeah, which is scary. That is it. It is so sad about that, Teresa. And I think that was part of it too. Um, part of it. I know it was also said the curly hair where it came from that there was African American that was somewhere in the woodshed somewhere, which a lot of us, some of on the guy inside has curly, kinky, curly hair. So yes, my grandma was a beautiful. Both my great grandma was very beautiful. Her hair was beautiful. Grandma's hair was beautiful too. And I know I've seen it. She had the high cheekbones, and one of my brothers, whenever he's out in the sun, he gets tan. I mean, dark tan. Excuse me. So my arms tan in the summertime. I can't get. I burn on other parts. Oh wow, wow, Teresa. Wow. I heard about those trains. Sad. Heard about those schools too. Thankfully for Yellowstone, I imagine the little brief sections of Yellowstone was really, really worse than what they showed. And it breaks my heart that us as a country treated people like that. It breaks my heart that we still treat people bad. At least to we still treat bad. So we need to love one another. Wow. I know I helped my mom. I watched my mama can. I watched my grandparents can. They all water bath canned. Never did pressure can. So pressure canning is fairly new to me. Um, and they did have a garden when they lived, or when we moved to the suburbs. we lived in town and then moved to the suburbs. Dad bought a tractor. We had cows. We had all of that. Mom had rabbits. Wouldn't butcher a rabbit. But we had over 100 rabbits. At one time, we'd go through a 50-pound bag of rabbit pellets all week. All week. And I agree with what you said, Teresa. It's sad. But my mom canned green beans. She canned jelly. She canned blackberries. She picked blackberries. That's how she paid when Dad was sick. That's how she paid for her food in the hospital, was picking blackberries. I picked the blackberries and I gave her the money. That's why my channel is named Blackberryrock. I love picking blackberries, even the wild ones, the rock part, because we have rocky soil here. So, but I thought I'd catch you all up, and I am going to jump in and read out the King James Version of the Bible. And I'm not no expert on reading. I'm going to let you say that right now. I don't know the Bible as good as I should. I don't read it as often as I should, which I'm guilty of that, and I'm sure a lot of people are. My grandpa was a Pentecostal preacher, and some people don't believe that Pentecostal preachers are all about that and the healing and all that. I've seen it, and that is who I am. I'm kind of giving you a little bit of background before we jump into the Bible. My uncle Henry was a Baptist preacher. He's since no longer doing that. But I grew up in a time where in an elementary school, I went every Wednesday. I got on a bus and we went to church. Teresa she's had her channel for a while there, Kim, but Teresa can let you know on that in the comments, or you can add, let me see if I could do that real quick on, but I have since found out that CC Winans, the big singer, gospel singer, which I love her music too, her family is from Pentecostal. So let me see if I could get real quick, see if I can add a link to, let me see if I can do that real quick before we jump into the Bible. There it is. Let's see if I could do this. Okay. Sorry, I am sharing Always link. There we go. That should be coming up on, that is the link the other me, Luann's Kitchen, just shared, is of Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. Just so you know. So let's jump in, and we are going to be finishing up John 3 today, and then next Thursday I will read probably out of Matthew, and we will focus on reading the New Testament, because the first four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that's how I know. because I had to remember that and that stuck with me. Um, so that is my background. And when we would go visit my grandparents, we would, grandpa did a lot of ungodly things. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Um, but I felt he led a lot of people to Christ, and I hope and pray that by reading the King James Version and now out of the Study Bible, um, oh, sorry about that. Um, you're very welcome, Teresa. Um, but that is my background. Like I said, I don't know the Bible as much as I should, but I'm sure a lot of us feel that way. I know our minister at our church feels that way as well. So let's jump into the word. This is 3rd John, and it is towards the back of the Bible. There is let me do. There is one more book before Revelation, which I've read Revelation, which is really hard to read. Um, at least when I was reading it, it was hard to read. So I'm going to read the 3rd John, which only has one chapter. Um, thank you. Thank you, Teresa, and I will continue to pray for you and Junior. Um, and before I jump in the word, I am going to address this real quick. Kim, don't feel, don't worry about people getting annoyed because you sub to their channel without asking. We are each individuals, and that is why YouTube is here. There are so many different channels out there that are out there that they want you to sub to their channel, because that's how each channel grows. That's why Miss Gail created Fall Fest, to have all these different genres join in, because there's so many different genres here on YouTube. Yes, there are people on YouTube that are just playing a character. Gail is who she seems on her channel. Teresa is who she seems on her channel. And I am who I seem on my channel. Am I expert at anything? I don't claim to be. Um, am I expert on the Bible? Am I expert on gardening? I learn just like the rest of us do. And Norma is who she claims to be. We are a great group of preppers. I'm sorry, not hounding you on that, but don't feel like maybe those channels that you sub to that want you to be asked to sub, then maybe really don't need to sub to those channels. That's my opinion, because we are all on YouTube to grow, and subs are important because that is how we grow our channel. Um, it took me a while to get to where I am on this channel by my friends. Um, and same way with Luann's Kitchen and all the other channels out there. Gail's 3 channels that she has. Um, so it's subs are important. Um, don't when you're subscribing to a new channel, don't put in the comment, hey, I'm a new sub here. Put, I'm a new friend, because YouTube seems to dislike that. But I feel there are a lot of great communities. Yes, agree, Gail. Agree. Don't feel obligated to sub to any channel. You sub to whoever you feel you want to watch. Um, I know there are giveaways on YouTube that you have to, trying to find my words here. That is how each of us grows, is by subbing to each other and watching each other's content, watching all the different genres out there. I do watch crafting channels. There are a lot of other fellow YouTubers. There's travel channels. There's travel. I'm planning on adding travel to this um, channel. Restaurant reviews or food truck reviews on the other me, Luann's Kitchen. Um, but sub to who you want to, because that's how each channel grows. Sorry about getting on the soapbox, but I felt like I needed to address that. Agreed. Agree, Gail. I agree that, because that is how we grow our channels. Um, well, I've been on YouTube longer than 3 years. It's been probably more like 5. And this was not my original channel. My original channel was Henny Hills Farms and Gardens. And I switched it and created a new channel, Blackberryrock Homestead. Um, do I still, yes, I like the homestead part. But I do enjoy going out to eat and all that stuff. And trying new recipes. I'm trying to learn to get away from all the preservatives. Yes, thank you, Gail. And be sure to put that in your comment for each channel, because like I said, YouTube doesn't like when you say new sub here, or um something of that nature. So, because me and Gail Gail has taught me a great deal. She is a very nice lady. I've met her. I talked to her on the phone. A few other people I have met as well. Um, and during Baker Creek, when they would have their when they would have their free monthly things, and I agree. I feel blessed to have as many subs as I do, and now that this channel has reached where it is, I'm not, and with it being winter, I'm not making as much content on this channel. I'm trying to, but I'm hoping the songs, because of the Suno app, will be creating more stuff here. Um, because in using my photos for the songs, and the photos that I did for the song that will be premiering later this evening, um, it I had to pick the right photos for the video. And there is another song that I've downloaded, but I've not made public. It will probably be made public, that I wrote the words to. So, and a few other songs I need to get done. So, let's jump into the word, after I get off my little soapbox and kind of talk about that because I felt like that needed to be addressed. And so let's jump on into the word. So reading 3rd John, which is 2 chapters before Revelation. 2 books before Revelation. Sorry, had to clarify that. And then I'm going to read the 1 chapter of 3rd John, and then I'm going to jump and read what out of the study Bible. And I read King James Version. The study Bible is New King James Version. So, 3rd John, verse 1. The elder unto the well-beloved Garrus, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as I so prospered. For I rejoice greatly in the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of thy charity before the church, whom if thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, thou shalt do well, because that for his name's sake they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles. We therefore ought to receive such, that we may be fellow helpers to the truth. Wow, just that little section, um, from verse 2 to verse 8 of that sounds like a song. Sounds like a song. So I'm going to continue with verse 9. I wrote unto the church, but the Diotrephes, another word, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, who love to have the preeminence among them, receive us not. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds, which doeth, prating against us with malice words, and not content therewith, neither doth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth him that would, and cast him out of the church. Beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good. He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil hath not seen God. Demetrius hath good report of all men, and of the truth itself, yea, and we also bear record, and ye know that our record is true. I have many things to write, but I will not with ink and pen write unto thee. But I trust I shall shortly see thee, and we shall speak face to face. Peace be to thee. Our friends salute thee. Greet the friends by name. I love that. That first part, maybe, to me, should be in song form. Just so you know, there may be a song on that. So now I am going to jump into 3rd John, what it says in the study Bible. Find it. So this is a study Bible. Oh, that's Jude. Does it not have? Okay. Pages are stuck together. There it is. Okay. So this is 1st John. Now, the study Bible breaks down verse by verse, and sometimes it has more information on each verse. So I'm going to read that, and then I will be saying a prayer, and then I will end the live. So, and like I said, Thursday I will probably read out of Matthew, and we will read out of the King James Version, and then read out of the study Bible 1 chapter at a time. So let's jump in the study Bible. This is for verse 1. This letter provides us with an important glimpse into the life of the early church. 3rd John, addressed to Gaius, highlights the need for showing hospitality to traveling preachers and other believers. It also warns against a would-be church dictator. I feel my grandpa, who was a Pentecostal preacher, was a traveling preacher. He didn't have just one church. He would be at one church at a time, and then he would go and do some stuff he shouldn't have been doing, and then he would move on to another church and preach there in another area. But that's my feeling. So moving on to the next one. And this is also for verse 1. The elder John was one of the Jesus' 12 disciples and the writer of the Gospel of John, 3 New Testament letters, and the book of Revelation. For more on John, see his profile on page 2401, and that is in this book, the Study Bible. I shouldn't have read that one. We have no further information about Gallus, but he is someone whom John loved dearly. Perhaps Gallus had shared his home and hospitality with John at some time during John's travels. If so, John would have appreciated his actions because traveling preachers depended on an expression of hospitality to survive. See Matthew 10:11 through 16. That is about what that is. And I know there are a lot of traveling preachers out there, and I appreciate each and every one of them. There are a lot of missionaries that is out there, and I feel they are traveling preachers. There are a lot of missionaries that is being killed around the world just because they are Christians, which I feel that is wrong. So wrong. So wrong. Moving on, this is for verse 2. John was concerned for Gaius' physical and spiritual well-being. This ran counter to the popular hearsay that taught the separation of spirit and matter and despised the physical side of life. Today, many people still fall into this way of thinking. The separation of the two logical leads to one of the two responses: neglect of the body and physical health, or indulgence of the body's sinful desires. God is concerned about both your body and your soul. As a responsible Christian, you should neither neglect nor indulge yourself, but care for your physical needs and discipline your body so that you are at your best for God's service. And that one is a hard one because I do have addiction to soda. Um, I need to break free from it and drink more tea and drink more water because I feel my body is a temple to God. And that is why I'm trying to cook more wholesome meals, more meals that's less preservatives in it. So now this goes on to verse 4. John calls these believers my children because, as a result of his preaching, he was the spiritual father of many, including Gaius. Verse 5 and 6. In the church's early days, traveling prophets, evangelists, and teachers, their brethren, were helped on the way by people like Gaius, who housed and fed them. Hospitality has become a lost art in many churches today. We do well to invite more people over for meals, fellow church members, younger people, traveling missionaries, those in need, visitors. This is an active and much appreciated way to show your love. Because of our individualistic, self-centered society, many lonely people wonder if anyone cares whether they live or die. If you find such a person, show him or her that you care. That is so true. In today's society, we are more self-centered. And I feel social media, yes, YouTube has a thing about it. And being a content creator, it's hard to show our love to other creators out there and to other people. It's hard to do that because we have, I feel, these are all my opinions. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know. It's just a feeling that we as United States and other countries I feel fall in this as well. We are more self-centered than showing our love for our common men, our love for other people, our love for other individuals. Um, Usually at our church, when new people come, we love on them, we welcome them in. There was a lady that came to our church Sunday at Sunday school, and she was an elderly lady. Um, and um, she came in and she spoke and she asked for prayer. And she said, I usually don't go to this church, but something told me to pull in here because I don't see very well anymore. And I could just feel the Spirit of the Lord here. And I'm like, and during Sunday school, she got up, on the lesson and she spoke. And on the way to regular church, normal church, the 11 o'clock service, I went up to her and I hugged her and I said, "Thank you for what you said. I appreciate it." And I feel we need to give respect and not be so self centered that we don't show our love through going to our church that we go to. We are I'm a hugger now, more so. I get up and hug people that I feel that are my friends, and I know they're comfortable with me hugging them. Um, because we're one whole church body, even though as Christians we're spread out from for different states and around the world, we are one one body of Christ. If that makes any sense to anyone. So moving on. Verse 7. The traveling missionaries neither asked for nor accepted anything from non believers. This was not intended to ostracize unbelievers, it was a statement of how things ought to be. Imagine the awkwardness of a Christian worker's requesting funds or lodging from the very people he or she was trying to reach. Instead, it is the responsibility of churches and Christians, individuals, to support those who are called by God to full-time vocational ministry. In this way, unbelievers will not be questioning the missionaries' motives for preaching. That is so true. I feel that's what we need to be doing today. God's true preachers do not preach to make money, but to fulfill their calling and express their love for God. The church is responsible for caring for Christian workers. This should never be left to non believers. Don't automatically discard the next missionary fundraising message you receive. That appeal may be God's invitation for you to become a partner in a new gospel venture. That right there is strong. Um, that to me, that is telling why we as church goers, as Christians, we don't expect non-believers to support the missionaries out there. That strong. So moving on, verse 8. When you help someone who is spreading the gospel, you are a partner in their ministry. This is the other side of the principle of 2 John chapter 1, 10 through 11. Not everyone should go to a foreign mission field. Those who work for Christ at home are vital to the ministry of those who go and who need support. We can support missionaries by praying for them and by giving them our money, hospitality, and time. And we need to pray for all the missionaries out there. Like I said, there are a lot of missionaries that are being killed just because they're spreading the gospel of Christ. Which is sad to me that we live in that type of world. Verse 9 through 10. All we know about Diotrephes is that he wanted to control the church. John denounces his refusal to have anything with other spiritual leaders, his slander of the leaders, his bad example in refusing to welcome any teachers of the truth, his attempt to excommunicate those who opposed his leaderships. Sins such as pride, jealousy, and slander are still present in churches today. And when a leader makes a habit of encouraging sin and discouraging godly actions, he or she must be stopped. If no one speaks up, great harm can come to a church. We must confront sin in our churches. If we ignore it, it will continue to grow. A true Christian leader is a servant, not an autocrat. That is so true. So true. But we must remember our Christian leaders, our Christian preachers, our Christian ministers are still human, and we still sin because we are a sinful person. Um, at least in my opinion, no one can be as perfect as Jesus was when he walked our earth. No one. So moving on, verse 9. This letter is to which John refers was neither one nor two John, but another letter that no longer exists. That's interesting. According to the Study Bible, that there was another letter that no longer exists. I wonder where that other letter is. That's interesting. Very interesting. Moving on, verse 12. We know nothing about Demetrius except that he may have carried this letter from John to Gaius. Acts 19:24-41 mentions an Ephesian silversmith named Demetrius who opposed Paul, but this is probably another man. In contrast to the corrupt Diotrephes, Demetrius was a godly example to the other believers. John personifies the truth as witness to Demetrius' character and teaching. In other words, if the truth could speak, it would speak on Demetrius' behalf. When a Demetrius arrived, Gallus would certainly open his home to him. Verse 14. Whereas 2 John emphasizes that believers should refuse hospitality to false teachers, 3 John urges continued hospitality to those who teach the truth. Hospitality is a strong sign of support for people in their work. It means giving them of your resources that their stay will be comfortable and their work and travel easier. Actively look for creative ways to show hospitality to God's workers. It may be in the form of a letter or of encouragement, a gift, financial support, an open home, or prayer. So that is the end of the study Bible. And I thank God that hubby was able to get that study Bible. And like I said, I don't know the word like I should, but I feel a calling to read both out of King James and out of the study Bible. And come Thursday, my plan is to do a live on the other me and reading out of Matthew, because I feel sorry about the movement there. I feel the New Testament has a lot to give. I feel the study Bible has a lot to give, and I am probably the next time I go to Springfield, I will probably be going by another little small store called Mardell's and seeing if I can find, there is another study Bible. It's called the Strong Concordance, which that does have a concordance in it, because I just noticed that. That may be what I need. I don't know. But anyway, like every live that I've ever done, most generally I've ever done, I like to end with prayer. So if you don't mind, bow your heads, and if you're doing something where you could hurt yourself by doing so, please don't do that, like driving or operating heavy equipment, because I know people do put a YouTube on TV and they just let it play. And I thank you for those people that do that. I feel blessed for those people that do that to run my channel. For the hours, I appreciate each and every one of you that do that. Appreciate each and every one of you that will be watching this on TV at a later date, or, watching it at a later date, period. I appreciate it. So thank you, Lord, for everyone that's came in today, and thank you for the new friend, Kim. I appreciate her coming in today, and I hope this blesses her, and I hope it blesses anybody else that watches this at a later date. It's not about me, Lord. It's about you. All about you. Because without you, we are nothing. Nothing. And Lord, I pray for Teresa and her husband. At the moment, I can't remember because, Lord, I have memory issues at times. I pray for them. I pray for the continued strength for Teresa as a caregiver. And I also pray for the continued strength and courage and blessings and all the wisdom for all the caregivers out there, because I know how it is. I've been a caregiver twice. I was granted to be a caregiver for my mama and gone blessed to be to the journey that she made home. And I thank you, Lord, for that. And you bless me with a son, our son, to be a caregiver for him and a caregiver to both my children, even though I was told I could never have kids. Thank you, Lord, for those blessings. And Lord, I want to encourage all the nurses out there and the doctors out there that are helping these patients, that are helping the sick and taking care of the sick. And Lord, I want to have healing in our land. I want to heal all those people that are sick and dealing with illness or anything else. I want you to heal them, Lord. And Lord, I pray for little Scarlett and her family. Keep lifting them up. Keep showing them miracles day after day. I know little Scarlett is in there, and what a blessing, what an encouragement that little girl will be one day when she talks again. And she tells about the miracles that you did in her life. How you brought her back. And I hope that her life encourages somebody. And Lord, I pray for all those people around the world. I pray for those missionaries. I pray for those Christians that are being persecuted. I pray that they keep speaking the truth. And I pray I spoke truth today, the words that you wanted me to say. And Lord, I pray for my husband. I pray that you give him encouragement today. I pray that you go follow with him and be an encouragement, and that he don't pick up that thing again. And Lord, I pray that all the Jesuses I've been spreading around every time I go somewhere, I pray that the right person sees it. I give to the right person. And God, keep opening my eyes and my ears for the spirits out there, because I understand we are underneath a spiritual warfare. And God, I pray that I'm on the right side. I know I'm on the right side of you. When we speak the truth, when we read your word, we are blessed beyond measure. And thank you for all the blessings that I receive. I may not be rich financially, but I'm rich by knowing you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. And Lord, please be with that lady today. You know who I speak of, that came to our church. Please be with her. Please let the truth be told in the circumstances that need to be done. And Lord, please continue to pray for my friend, the artist, Katie West. Keep letting her reach you. Keep letting her reach the masses by her artwork and her love for you. And I pray for all the women's meetings out there, because I know there are women's meetings. And I pray for my other friend, Gail, and let her keep speaking the truth and ministering to us women that need it. And Lord, I pray for Gail's ministry that was on here today. I pray she reaches the people she's supposed to reach. She speaks to the ones she's supposed to speak to. And I pray that she's a blessing to everyone out there. And she speaks the truth. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Whew, that was a strong prayer, y'all. Oh, strong. I feel it was. I hope. So, thank you everyone for coming in today. And I will see you Thursday on the other me. And like I said, I will be reading out of Matthew. At least that's what I feel that I need to read out of Matthew chapter 1. And we will go through the first 4 Gospels. Other New Testament, I feel I need to read actually, I feel like I need to read starting from Genesis and going all the way through. But we'll just see where the Lord wants me to read Thursday, because I felt I needed to read the number of Johns, John 1, John 2, John 3. I've never read that. Well, I read it before, but it didn't take a toll on me as it did this time. The study Bible has helped. I know a lot of times King James Version is hard to read, and some of the names are hard to read, hard to pronounce. And I apologize if I pronounce them wrong, God. I apologize. So I will see y'all later, and everyone have a very blessed day, and thank you for coming in today. I appreciate each and every one of you that watch this, and thank you for my new friend Kim. I appreciate you. So see y'all later, and God bless.